Hello everyone. In this video, we're picking out and sharing the latest topics about Asia. From one of the most famous Reddit-style forums in Japan. Even if you don't understand Japanese, we've translated everything into English subtitles and audio. So you can join the conversation as if you were in Japan. So, let's dive into the discussions happening in Japan. At a temple in Kyoto, a monk warned a tourist about their bad manners. Only to be met with heartless words such as, "Japan will become a part of China if you act all high and mighty, you'll be erased." On the 9th of this month, a temple staff member warned the driver of a car blocking the approach to the temple, asking them to park at a nearby coin parking lot. In response, an Asian-looking individual shouted in broken Japanese with a foreign accent, "It's not illegal. I'll kill you." In Kyoto, operating an unauthorized taxi service using a private vehicle has become a problem. The individual who was warned likely misunderstood it as a personal attack.
This incident just brought it to light. But the real problem is that many Chinese people think this way. The Chinese government is openly telling its citizens that they will eventually take over Japan. Even the Chinese think China is that kind of country. Why didn't the temple just place a Winnie the Pooh plushie there? Look around your room, it's full of products made in China. We really can't get along with China. China is either heading for economic collapse or splitting into 6 separate countries. What are they even talking about? But Kyoto makes money off this kind of tourism. So they're the ones attracting these people in the first place. They should be arrested for making death threats. When I go skiing in Japan, the stress level is totally different depending on whether there are foreign tourists or not. I'm sure it's the same for other tourist spots. All Chinese people might think like this, but they wouldn't be able to maintain a clean temple. Maybe Chinese people don't even understand their own nature. Isn't it about time we physically remove them and teach them a lesson? China has zero governance ability but an oversized thirst for conquest. We should start collecting photos and videos of Chinese tourists causing trouble and create a public gallery, showcasing their behavior around the world. If this kind of Chinese behavior keeps spreading, tourist spots will eventually collapse anyway. Maybe Chinese tourists just shouldn't visit them at all. In Tibet and Xinjiang, people disappeared regardless of how they behaved. I've seen videos of Chinese tourists blocking the path of British guards during the changing of the guard, or stepping into restricted areas for photos, getting yelled at by police or shoved by the guards. Japan needs to stop smiling and putting up with this nonsense. Japan keeps welcoming Chinese tourists during Lunar New Year, and is even considering offering 10-year visas. At this point, Japan is practically becoming a part of China. Chinese tourists aren't here to travel. They're just scouting Japan as future invaders. It's been about 10 years since foreign tourism increased, but Japan's GDP hasn't gone up. Even after putting so much effort into inbound tourism, it only contributes about 1% to GDP. And the biggest spenders are Western tourists. Chinese tourists barely bring in any profit, and with their terrible manners, they're actually causing more damage than good. What kind of mentality is that? Who goes on an overseas trip and says stuff like that? That's exactly the kind of mindset Chinese people have. Since Japan is going to become part of China soon, you guys should start learning Chinese while you still can. Forget that. Tell me about Tiananmen Square instead. Why do they even visit a country they hate so much? Are they actually having fun? My daughter works at a museum, and at her workplace, they secretly refer to Chinese tourists as monkeys. Do people mistake Japanese admiration for ancient Chinese history and culture as pro-China sentiment? Of course not. Those classics were destroyed by Mao Zedong and the CCP. Obviously, Anyone who loves those cultural treasures would resent them. If Japan really became part of China, would Japanese people also become as uncivilized as the Chinese? Any Japanese person who isn't crude will probably just get purged. China will change its name again sooner or later. I think more and more Japanese people dislike China now. But what is the Japanese government even trying to do? Before long, profitable temples will probably be managed by Chinese people. But before that happens, Japan might just end up as the Japan state of the United States.
Did you find this video interesting? We'll keep bringing you fun topics from Japan's online community. Please subscribe to the channel and drop some comments.